From the newsroom, live in downtown Dallas, Texas, you are watching Channel 2. Good evening. I am Dan Mulford, and you are watching tonight's Evening News. Our top story tonight takes you about 50 miles north of Portland, Oregon, to Mount St. Helens, to our Channel 2 reporter, Austin Jones, who is live at the scene.
Thanks, Dan. And right now I'm sitting in the Red Cross headquarters, and as we all know, Mount St. Helens just erupted. Now there's many deaths,
We just want to remind our viewers that Austin is coming live from Mount St. Helens, so we may experience technical difficulties. Back to you, Austin.
Right now I'm sitting in Red Cross headquarters, where they believe to have at least 25 people dead and at least 10 more missing or possibly injured. There were over 7,000 animals killed and about 13 Native American animals killed.
Now, Austin, can you please tell us a little more about what local authorities and the Red Cross are doing to help disaster relief at Mount St. Helens?
Local authorities and the Red Cross have both joined forces to help those survivors and people affected by this disaster. Mount St. Helens was a volcano that erupted, and it wiped out over 50 square miles of land. Some of the devastation landed up in even Oklahoma, all the way from Washington to there.
Austin, can you tell us how conditions are locally around Mount St. Helens?
Like I said, the Red Cross is doing a lot to help clean up, but other than that, some roads and some airports have been down due to the ash that's been spread very far. Not much they can do about that, but wait. There's been expected to be some long-term damage to the people that were very close to Mount St. Helens with all the ash. But other than that, there's not much effects that have been caused by this eruption. They're expected for...
Viewers, please excuse the bad connection as we are live from Mount St. Helens, a disaster area.
They expect it to take a good 25 to 30 years for it just to be even a quarter back towards the normal habitat. So it's going to take a very long time for this to replenish. But other than that, there's not much we can do besides hope for the best and wait it out. Thanks. Back to you.
Thank you, Austin, for the report, and please keep Channel 2 updated on the latest happenings at Mount St. Helens. Our next feature takes us to New York, where I spent some time earlier this week investigating the pollution controversy surrounding the terrorist attacks of September 11th, 2001. On September 11th, 2001, there was a terrorist attack on the United States of America. Terrorists hijacked commercial airplanes and flew them into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York, the Pentagon in Virginia, and a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. The planes loaded with jet fuel crashed into these massive edifices, causing death and destruction. However, the damage was not just physical. The jet fuel and debris from the burning buildings caused smoke to fill the air over the densely populated Northeast. Millions of people live in this dense area, and and first responders and people in the area surrounding the buildings had to breathe in the smoke.
It is very difficult to breathe this air, and you can still see how the smoke still surrounds the trees and in the lungs of the school children playing here at the high school in Queens, New York. It is very damaging and could cause bad health effects.
Tyrone Neal deGrasse, a man near the World Trade Center site, described the smoke as this: "I close all our windows and blinds. As the dust cloud engulfs my building, an eerie darkness surrounded us, the kind of darkness you experience before a severe thunderstorm. I look out the window and could see no more than about 12 inches away. Outside my window, after about 15 minutes, visibility grows to about 100 yards, and I notice about an inch white dust everywhere outside my window. That is when I realized that every single rescue vehicle that had parked itself at the base of the World Trade Center must now be buried under 110 collapsed floors of tangled debris and multiple feet of dust. This collapse took out the entire first round of rescue efforts, including what were surely hundreds of police officers, firefighters, and medics. As visibility increased and I could now see the blue sky, there is a blue sky where World Trade Center number 2 used to be." In the days following the disaster, hundreds of firemen and other emergency service responders arrived at the sites of the Pentagon and World Trade Center, hoping to find survivors. Few were found, and in total, 2,996 souls lost their lives that day. But the toxins breathed in by people nearby and first responders caused more deaths later on. Since September 11th, 29 firemen and first responders have died due to complications from the air. The site of the World Trade Center burned for months, releasing smoke into the atmosphere. Today, there aren't any pollutants in the air remaining from September 11th, but persons who were around that day may experience health issues such as cancer or lung problems due to the exposure. Debris from the towers was hauled off site and buried in a landfill on Staten Island. Presently, the site has been cleared and new development is being constructed upon it. But when workers were cleaning the site, there were reports of them not wearing masks and breathing the contaminants directly. The EPA was caught in a scandal because of the lack of proper protection from the contaminants in the air. The city of New York took control of the cleanup efforts without the proper protection. This led to the sickening of many workers and has become the basis for many lawsuits. There are quite few remnants of the September 11th attacks today, as everything has been rebuilt, or is in the process of being rebuilt. But the emotional and physical scars endured by those affected by the attacks may never heal. From New York, I'm Dan Mulford. Now here is Tate Tyler, more on the Bhopal disaster in India.
Just occurred where a gas leak left 3,787 people injured or dead. And this was considered one of the worst industrial catastrophes of all time. It exposed hundreds of workers and citizens to a dangerous gas known as methyl isocyanate. Immediate effects ranged from coughing to vomiting, and long-term effects consisted of degeneration of the liver and a rise in stillbirth occurrences.
This is a demonstration of Flip4Mac.
Air, water, vegetation, and food were safe within the city. At the same time, people were informed that poultry was unaffected, but warned not to consume fish. The soil and water was tested toxic and unsustainable for life. For fish, they were safe, and trees surrounding the area were stripped of leaves due to the gas from the leak. In efforts to control
This is
the
a
water was
demonstration
purified
of
and
Flip4Mac.
everyone was safe. It's not done yet. Did you not end it yet? Back to you, Dan.
Thank you, Tate, for that report. Now let's look at the 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, on Monday, it'll be a high of 79 degrees and a low of 62, with a 10% chance of rain. Tuesday, not much different. a slightly higher chance of rain, but still in the 81-64 range. The rest of the week, pretty similar, with a range of 10 to 30% chance of rain, temperatures ranging from the high 70s to the low 80s, well into the weekend. Stay tuned to Channel 2 News, because that forecast may change. Here's some footage of the Mount St. Helens smoke that has come near North Texas that our crews caught earlier today. And then here's a photo that viewers submitted from McKinney of the smoke. Well, that's about it for tonight's edition of the Channel 2 News. Do tune in tomorrow as we look into the latest findings in the recovery from the 2012 Texas tornadoes. From our newsroom in downtown Dallas, Texas, I'm Dan Mulford. Good night.